We are now officially going live. Really excited for tonight's class. So we've had 2 weeks already. First week, remember we talked about the shofar. Very good, David. We talked about the shofar and the idea of I called whole, shattered whole. The idea of the straight sound. You made it brilliant. I was stalling. You should know I was stalling until you got here. And obviously, I'm gonna go. I'll be in third gear probably. Sophs. I'll be in third gear by the time. What do you reckon? In third gear was that. First we talked about the shofar whole, shattered whole. And second week we discussed last week, those who were here, the idea of spiritual detox, the idea of tshuva as being a detox. Remember, we've said this many times that people don't like Yom Kippur, they get very scared of Yom Kippur. It's a day that people don't like at all and don't connect to, because ultimately they see the pain of fasting and they read the words in the machzor and get very freaked out. But if you could only appreciate and enjoy what it means, what it feels like to become clean, to be able to get close to Hashem, the joy is tremendous. It's like literally that feeling you would get after having gone like a big detox of getting all the toxins out of your body physically, losing, all that nonsense and rubbish that's in your system and letting it all come out and then becoming pure and clean. That's what Yom Kippur is. Tonight's class is what I call the Makeh B'Patish. It's the hammer blow at the end. It's going to be that point at the end. It's going to be the hammer blow. It's going to whack William there. And what's good about it is because it's good not just for Rosh Hashanah. It's not just good for the new year. It's good, Deborah Tamir, for every day of your life. Today's class is good for every day of your life. Now, the Mesilat Yesharim, which is a book called The Path of the Just, which some of us have learned before, says very clearly at the beginning, in his introduction, he says a phrase which could be, again, one of the most important phrases for us to know and remember. He says there that the more obvious something is, the more clear and obvious something is, the more a statement is unequivocally agreed upon, the more easy it is to forget it. The more common it is that you will find people don't remember. The more obvious a statement is, the more accepted a statement is, the more people tend to forget it. So, for example, I always throw out people say, "Well, give me an example." Let's try now. What's an example of something which is really obvious and no one would even think to disagree, but you forget about it all the time? You forget about it all the time. You do things in your life which like, oh my gosh, it's so stupid. Can I give you an example? That's again, not everyone has the same scenario, but I would say honoring your parents. Like your parents are like such, they brought you up when you were little, they fed you, they clothed you, they looked after you, they put themselves out for you. Please God, you'll all be parents one day. I look forward to seeing little cones running around. Okay? One day, and you'll have your own kids and see, but your parents, they put themselves out for you, they try so hard for you. Like, does everyone disagree with that? Does everyone disagree that it's wrong to would anyone here say it's wrong to honor your parents? Does everyone here agree that it's right to show your parents the respect? Do we all do it all the time? Depends. That's exactly beautiful. That's the answer, Richard. Depends. When you think about it, black and white, of course, we should always respect them and show them honor. But okay, that's an example. So the more obvious something is, the more it's fit. When I do my Khatan classes, I had a few chances to learn with some guys before they get married. One of the things I always talk about with the guys is when it comes to marriage. Like, you're about to get married, it's amazing, it's so exciting. I stand on the chuppah, and it's going to be, such amazing feelings of love and connection. And when I talk to the guys about, respecting each other and not taking each other for granted and things like that, they always say, yeah, of course I do. And I always say, the more obvious something is, the more likely you are to forget it. So even things like taking people for granted, we take so many people in our lives for granted, and what they do for us for granted. If you stop for 2 seconds and think about it, you're like, I'm such an idiot, why would I do that? Okay, so the more obvious something is, the more we forget. Therefore, tonight's lesson is going to be a statement which isn't necessarily groundbreaking. It's not an atomic bomb that's going to go off in here, but I think it's something we have to focus on. Let's start tonight, just a little bit of getting in the zone. Had a bit of crazy few moments before I came here today. It was a bit nuts, so I need to also relax. Everyone just sit nice and straight. Let's get into the zone a little bit. I feel like I hear someone coming in. Okay, so just back straight against the chair. Okay, try not to cross your arms. Close your eyes, I think it's better. Palms up. Okay, everyone just deep breath into your nose. Hold and then breathe out again. Big deep breath into your nose. Hold. Hold, breathe out again. Big deep breath in. Then breathe out. Just feel the contact of your feet against the floor, your legs against the chair, your back against the chair. Feel that force of gravity pulling you into the ground here. Be aware as you breathe in through your nose of the air being cold as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, the air is warmer. Just allow yourself to relax. It's been a busy couple of weeks. It's been a busy day, busy afternoon. Just relax, be present in the moment. We're here to share, we're here to enjoy, to learn some fundamental ideas that will enhance our lives in a tremendous way. We don't have to go anywhere, we don't have to be anywhere, just being in this present moment, we can really work on ourselves together here right now. So another 3 big deep breaths in through your nose. Hold and then breathe out. A big deep breath in through your nose. Hold and breathe out. Last one, big deep breath in through your nose. Hold and breathe out. Beautiful, back in the room. It's amazing just what a little bit of 3D exercise and a focus can do just to get us in the zone. Okay, so here we go. I've spoken a lot about Rosh Hashanah, about it being a day where ultimately you can feel a lot of love and joy. In the first class, when we talked about the shofar, we talked about whole shattered whole. We talked about it's a day to come back to a feeling of being whole. But the reality is, in the prayers of Rosh Hashanah, we do talk about the fact that we're judged. Okay? Scary word alert. Judged. So unjudgmental. But it's like, the point is that on Rosh Hashanah, people don't get judged. We don't judge people who come late. Because they came. That's the most important thing. They're here. So it's a day where ultimately we have to stand. The expression is B'nai Maron, like we're sheep in front of the shepherd. We all come through stepping one by one. And ultimately we have to be held accountable. It's a festival of accountability. You can eat, it's fine, I'm not going to say anything. Getting close to the table. Like knife and fork. Garçon, you have a bottle of Pinot Noir. Yeah, clean glass this time, please, thank you. Thanks. Ice, lemon. Anyway, sorbet. So we're going to be judged, and I want to put it to you now. What do you think could be, if we would sit together as a collective now and think about it, what would you think is something that could be like one of your best sort of defense arguments? You know, if you're standing in front of your creator and he's going to look at your life now, and he's going to ask you, you know, what did you do in the last year? Last year you stood on Rosh Hashanah Kippur and said, look, things are going to change. I'm really going to work on these things. I really want to stop being so argumentative. I really want to try and work on certain things in my Jewishness. I want to become a bit more into whatever it's kosher or Shabbat, whatever it is. Or you might turn around and say, last year I decided I wanted to, you know, be a better friend to certain people. And tachlis, as they say in Yiddish, tachlis, at the end of the day, it didn't really happen. Okay, so you're going to be judged. Is there something that you could have in your pocket that you could produce on Rosh Hashanah and it could almost get you out of jail? It's something that you could have. So Richard Black with his hand up there, he's obviously seen this source sheets already, so he's got an advantage, but let's go for it. Yes, Uncle Richard.
I was just saying, you could argue that you were being true to yourself, like whatever you did, you know, you were being authentic.
Above all, what's the Shakespeare? Unto thine own self be true? Can't have it out here. Where's it from? It's from Hamlet. Who just said that? Sienna, what is it?
I actually got that from the movie Clueless.
That was such a shame because, like, for a moment there, I was like, "What a culture!"
Jewish. That's true, right? Lucy Silverstone was Jewish.
Paul Rudd is Jewish, and he's in it.
Okay, fantastic. Sienna, for a minute there, I thought you were like some culture vulture, and I was like, "You've got someone very, very hostile in the room." Then you ruined it. Okay, it was quoting Shakespeare, you know. Yeah, and above all else, unto thine own self be true. Something like that. If you're fact checking at home, don't bother. Okay, so as Richard says, that although it's interesting, we'll have to come back to that. Think about it. Yeah. Authenticity is valuable, and it's something which is really, you know, we need to be true. We need to be true to ourselves and not pretend. But ultimately, if we're always just kind of give up and say, well, that's who I am. I'm just true to myself, and we're never going to grow. Okay, I had a hand up over there. What was it? Auntie Rachel, yeah, on line 3.
you could say, well, other people need me and depend on me, and the good things that I do affect them. So you need to make sure that I have a good year.
I like that. That's a very nice idea. Then they that just putting out there, I'm needed. Yeah, last year things didn't work out, but like I need to be in on the team sheet because look all the things I'm going to do. Fantastic, Rachel. Emily.
Well, you made me like this. You gave me the evil inclination. Last year I wanted to be good, but life got in the way, and perfect. You didn't make me as an angel, so this is my struggle.
No, but and that's beautiful, and it fits in with what Rachel was saying about authenticity. It's almost like say, look, I didn't ask. First of all, didn't ask to be born. Well, that's like one of like a real teenager excuse. You can imagine you probably was said as a teenager. And your parents like, clean your room again. Like, I didn't even ask to be born. Never asked to be born. It's like I'm going to date myself now, but there was a big comedian when I was a kid called Harry Enfield.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had a character called Kevin the Teenager.
Yeah.
So anyone here, please go when you all have teenage children, which will be in around for some of you 12, 13 years time. There's a great clip of Kevin Teenager. It's this Kevin is 12 and he turns 13, and at 12 he's like really happy and smiley at his birthday, and at midnight becomes 13, and instantaneously turns like grumpy, selfish, despicable character overnight, and he's like, ugh. But anyway, I'll send you the clip one that you can watch it. So we have very nice. That's Emily there with the idea of authenticity. Like I don't ask to be born, but again, it does also. It's good, but I feel it's not good enough. In other words, we could just always use a get out free card. Okay, well, God, I didn't ask to be born. You created me with the Yetzer Hara. That's what I've got. Okay, Yetzer Hara, and that's why I'm messing up the whole time. Okay, here we go. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to tell you what it is. I feel the top tip. I put here the top tip for a tip-top New Year. I like that. Okay, is for us on Judgment Day. Well, you know what? Let you read it yourself. Let's read together. I'm going to pass around the source sheets. Let's go this step by step. I've got some really amazing sources here. I've got HP, I've got ketchup. Okay, here, take the sources. So I've got great sources.
So bad, no?
It's AUCE.
Come on.
Oh, no.
You don't get any context at the end of this. Yeah, it's 2 sheets.
It's 2 sheets. Everyone gets 2 sheets.
He's just fishing for condiments.
2 sheets then.
Which, too much.
Well, we've got 2 sheets there. Okay.
Colour now.
See, it's been covered for the past year. Okay.
I've been sorting out my Soul Fitness notes, and they used to be in black and white.
That was before the charity event.
Yeah.
We have to edit this out, Shane.
Oh, my chocolate was just stolen and everything. Okay.
Money well spent, if you ask me.
Back in the room. Okay, here we go. So I want to quote from you. Last year, I found an album. There's a musician from Israel. His name is Yosef Kardu. Now, remember the rule is don't read on in the sources. Just stay there. Okay, I met a musician that Ollie and I are very big fans of. He's called Rabbi Yosef Karduna. And he takes a lot of the words from Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, who is a great... 2 sheets.
He's your MVP, right?
One of.
Most valuable player. MVP, like, you know what MVP is?
MVR, right? Most valuable rabbi. Yes, MVR is my MVR. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov is one of my MVRs. Okay. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, 1772 to 1810. As Steve just said, one of my MVRs, my most valuable rabbis, who was years and years and years above his contemporaries in terms of understanding the psychology of man. In fact, it's only now, really, in recent times, that a lot of people are coming to see just how deep and true his Torahs are. And this musician takes the words of Rabbi Nachman and he puts it to music in his most gorgeous songs. In fact, one of the most famous songs that he has, well, it's not his words, but tunes of his, is one that goes like this. Shir l'malo, sayinai le'arim, me'ayin yavo ezri. Everyone knows that song? You do. Anyway, so last time I was driving around on holiday and I heard this song. I was like, this is so amazing. The song is beautiful. What are the words? So I went to check out the words. And in checking out the words, just before Rosh Hashanah, I was blown away. These are the words of Rabbi Nachman, okay? Derech Hashem yitbarach lahabit al tovot she'osim v'af shenimtza b'hem gam ken ma she'eino tov. The way Hashem acts is that He looks at the good things that we have done, and he looks at the good things we've done. Now, even though he could, if he wanted to, find things that aren't so good, right? So Hashem could look at us and there's lots of things there that ain't so good, and everyone on their level. Okay, now I'm talking about myself here. You guys, I'm sure, are all tzaddikim, and this isn't really applicable to you. I'm talking about me. Right? But the way of Hashem is to look at the good, to find the good. Now, how do you know that? Look at source B. There's a pasuk, a verse from in the Balak. Balak was a king who hired a sorcerer, Bilam. And Bilam, one of the things Bilam says is, Lo hibit avon b'Yaakov v'lo ra'a amal b'Yisrael. He does not see sin in Yaakov, and he doesn't have any woe in view for Yisrael. So this is where Rabbi Nachman is taking this from. God doesn't look for the bad. He doesn't look for the bad. He looks for the good that we're doing. This is, again, it's a very, very common idea in the works of Rabbi Nachman. It's about Nekudat Tova. Nekudat Tova means the good point. Everyone has that good point inside of them. Something called the Pintaliyid. That point inside every person that's good and pure and right and true. No matter how much you try and smash it or break it, it can't be. It's the Nekudat Tova, the good point that you have. So Hashem looks for the good. Even though he could find things that aren't so good, he doesn't go searching and looking for those things. If that is the case, how much more so should we know? It is forbidden to search and look for the bad in others, to look and search for the negative things that aren't so good. On the contrary, says Rabbi Nachman, we too should look only for the good in others. You have to look and search for the good in other people, not the bad. Now, this is going back to the beginning of the class. Anybody here disagree with this point? No. Right. Does everyone live according to this life? No. So this is a perfect example of what I'm saying. No one here would turn around and say, nah, I think it's not true. I mean, you should look for the bad. Now, caveat number one, obviously, no one's here saying you should be naive and stupid and like there's a, crazy mass murderer or, thief and you look for the good, He's really nice. He's good to his cats. He kills millions of people, he's good for his cats. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yes. So we're talking here about, you're not saying one should be naive, and there's lots of more to discuss this about, better being given the benefit of the doubt and when you should and shouldn't. But ultimately, it's saying here, all things being equal, okay? All things being equal, we shouldn't go looking for the bad in people. How often do we find you see a person and you're like kind of picking up on the bad things they're doing, or that thing really annoyed me, or the way they did that really bothered me, and that was really, really frustrating. And the worst thing is that we don't just keep it inside, we share it with others. So you're going to be like, did you see the way Dingwall did that? Did you notice? Yeah. Steve, you're desperate to say something, and so is Emily.
It sounds like a Lashon Horror argument. Like the same thing, like you're giving oxygen, you're creating life for there, and
you're giving it less, basically. Yeah, definitely. That definitely fits in. Hey, that definitely fits into the same idea, of course. Yeah.
But fundamentally, also, it mainly damages you and not the other person.
Right. Why is that, Rachel? Speak it out.
I don't know. I hadn't really formed that thought further. But
yeah. Lashon Hara is the step afterwards. This is the step.
Yeah, the step before.
This is like looking at something and seeing negative. So I'm actually struggling with this at the moment because I'm dealing with something that is making me feel negative as a person.
Right.
So if someone's doing something bad to me, what is the difference between reacting from something that someone's done to me that's bad and looking for the bad in that person? Like, how do you
I think you answered your question. There's a difference between looking for the bad in a person and reacting to bad someone's doing to you. So he's not here saying if someone's doing bad to you, then just run away. Then if someone's doing bad things to you, you have to deal with it. And that is, every case has its own package of how you deal with it, whether you speak to them directly, whether there's means. He's not talking about if someone's doing something bad to you per se. What he's saying here is when you're dealing with a person and all things are being equal, stop looking for the bad. Don't how many times we walk away from things like everyone can name all the things they didn't like and they weren't happy with and thought that was wrong and this was wrong, right? And instead he's saying try and look for the good. Try and look for the good. Try and walk away from a conversation or try and walk away from an interaction and look for the good in somebody. You see this very much in restaurants, right? It's the whole culture we're in. I mean, we can't help it. We live in a culture of critique. This guy just now I didn't read the full article, but some French chef is going after Michelin for what was it? They gave him the wrong star, so he's not happy about it. Removed a star, right? But that whole culture of Sorry.
No, I haven't.
That was fun. I've only seen Ratatouille standing about that. But in the end, you see, the end, the critic, he had a heart. He was a Pinteliad, the critic, Gusto. The point is that the whole world we live in are critics, film critics, theatre critics, food critics. And now got the thing I saw in the Jewish Chronicle, they got the shul critics. They got people going to shuls and writing up there, you know, like fish balls, like quality fish balls, good, bad, rabbi's speech, comfy chairs. Wait.
Steve's like, I won't be going to JLE anymore.
Can I just see what the JLE is like? I just wanted to check out.
Quiet.
They're probably secret people.
Yeah, they have secret shoppers in shawls. Ellie on the
If you don't critique, what do you improve?
Oh!
Yeah, we can't all just abolish office.
No. That's a beautiful question, and I want to deal with it. But I'm just going to take it up. I would say just on one foot. Of course, that's what we have to be. A person themselves has to have a person in their lives. We say, "Knelecha chaver," you have a friend, and you have a selach harav, you have a rabbi or rebbitzin that you would take upon yourself as someone you go to for honest advice. Where you some days say like, "What am I doing wrong? How can I improve?" And your friend. Oh yeah. Thank you, Steve. Okay, I don't know if anyone heard Steve there, but Steve was saying yes. So I was lucky enough to be with my best mate. Because oh gosh, can you make sure it's actually plugged into the wall and on and stuff.
It looks on. It might not be plugged in for me.
Otherwise, about to lose Houston. Beautiful scene. Yeah, thank God. Yeah. So we find we live in a world. We live in a world where like criticism is, whether it's in sport, whatever. You make one step wrong, and people are judged by it. And we have internalized that in terms of our interactions with each other, in terms of our friendships, in terms of our family. You know, we're always looking out and seem to be looking for the bad. And Rabbi Nachman is telling us is stop judging for the bad and look for the good. Doesn't mean be naive, doesn't mean be silly, but look for the good. Now, I'm going to challenge you all. Over the next 5 days, you've got Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, Sunday. You've got 4 more days to Rosh Hashanah. Can we challenge ourselves to over the next 4 days look for the good in people? Like try and walk for it. So I was with my best mate in Israel, Reb Gershon Feinsilver. He's my biggest tzaddikim, my most incredible people, my best friend. Okay, and we were talking about this. We're on the train together in Israel. We're on the train from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and he was telling me about how like he tries to live this way. And he says he'll go on a train, he'll walk past, and every person he walks past in the train, in his mind, he'll try and think something nice about that person. You know, and so we tried that. So that's that lady there. She's probably like a really nice grandma, like loves her family. That person over there is, is a soldier. He's protecting the country. That person over there is a businessman. I'm sure he's making lots of money giving tzedakah. Or whatever it is. It's like looking and trying to find the good. And by the way, not only does it make other people's lives better, it makes your life better because you end up being a source of goodness in the world. So he told me he does this. I'm going to have to start doing it from now on. I love it. He said he goes to restaurants. It's his new shtick he does with his kids. He embarrasses his kids like I'm embarrassing my kids. We cut from the same cloth. My kids are now the age where you're so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Before these things, I was really funny. Now I'm really embarrassing. But I'm going to do it. I don't care. So this is what he does. It's my best mate. Yeah, he goes into the restaurant. He'll go like occasionally out with his family to a restaurant, and at the end, when they've all finished, he'll go, "Can I speak to the manager, please?" And they'll go, "Okay." And the manager will come over, and they're already on the back foot. The manager, they're already like kind of Ken, ma, like that's Hebrew for something, okay? And the guy's like a bit nice. Yeah, I just want to tell you, look, we ordered the pasta on the dish, and like the guy's already on the back foot. And, like he's like, we ordered the pasta, and it came with the things I asked for. And the guy's looking at us, goes, I just want to say it was really nice. It was like so tasty. Like, thank you so much. And can you just tell the chef as well? Thank you. And he said, just watch these people go from like to like, they just their whole world like absolutely changes, right? And then they get happy. And it's pay it forward because they'll go back to the chef who's probably had a bad day, make him happy, and ultimately, you're bringing more positive stuff. Why? Because you'll find something good in the middle. Okay, now you might tell me, Rabbi Dov, you live in La La Land. That's not how the world exists, right? We all have to. And Eddie he wasn't suggesting entirely, but we have to have criticism as we won't know. If everyone's just saying everything's great and fine, like let's face it, I'm one of these people that I can never complain in a restaurant. I can't. I don't know. It's the Jewish. I don't know if it's a Jewish thing. Just don't make a scene. So the Jewish people do make a scene. Hey, British. It's Jewish do make a scene. British people can't. It's like, you know, you'll eat it, it was absolutely disgusting, and you'll eat it, it was like, you know what I mean?
Wait, but come on, Rochelle must. She's like an Aussie. She'll say it how it is, no?
I mean, I don't know if we'll say that, but okay. The point is,
We got Aussie listeners.
they're
The Aussie audience. Is
my mother-in-law watches this, so be careful. She's in Australia. Okay, so the point here is we're going to look for the good. Now, how does this relate to Rosh Hashanah and judgment? Because let's look at source C. Turn over. Source C is a very famous Pirkei Avos. In fact, Eli, it relates to what you just asked me right now. Yeshua ben Paracha used to say the following: appoint for yourself a teacher. Aseh lecha rav, right? Means have a teacher. So it's important. I have my rabbis. I have people that I go to. In fact, when I was just in Israel now, I made a point of going to see my rabbi, or two of my rabbonim in Israel, to go see them. People that I go to for life advice. Yeah, it's an important idea that you should have someone in your life, a maestro, that can help you to grow. Next thing, you should acquire for yourself a friend. Now, Emily Charles knows all about this because I spoke about this under a chuppah about the different types of friendship one has, but you should acquire for yourself a friend. And that's a really important thing as well. It's really important to have a friend in life. To have someone, and when a friend doesn't mean just like someone to go to the cinema with. It means here, a friend means someone that you can share your life struggles with. And they can help, and it's a process of finding your friends. You've got to find, someone out there. You've got to make effort, it seems to be. You've got to make an effort to find a friend. And lastly, watch this. The heavy done is kol ha'adam lekaf. You should judge a person. The cuff is like a hand, like the cup is like a scoop of a hand. What do you say? Palm. Thank you. I know the word. Palm. So when he talks about the weighing scales, it's like the two palms, the two scales, right? The two hands of the scale. You should always judge people to the side of merit. So this way you heard expression being done l'chaf zchus. Now, if you ever hear from people saying this, now you know what it means. Someone says, "I'm going to be done l'chaf zchus." Has anyone heard that expression before? I'm going to be done l'chaf zchus. Yeah. Right, so after me, 1, 2, 3, done. Okay, done l'chaf zchus, which means I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. Right, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. Now again, we've got to be very, very clear. We're talking about all things being equal. If there is a murderer, chas v'shalom lo aleinu, is out there, and you see him going into, a pub with a machine gun, you don't be like, I'm sure he's got like his friend, he's got his machine gun back to his friend, to get it fixed or something. You don't be stupid when it comes to these things. And we have to have a whole class about how and when to be giving the benefit of the doubt. But all things being equal, give the benefit of the doubt. Now, I'm going to say something quite radical. I want to see if you disagree or agree with me. Most family broigus, most family arguments, the ones where they don't speak for 40 years now, happen because someone did something and they didn't have bad intentions, but the other people thought they did, and they didn't give the benefit of the doubt, and until now they're still not talking. Correct?
It's called, do you have a term for ribble?
Steve, help me with English. Steve's my English man.
Faribble.
No. What is it?
Term is like a fart about nothing.
A faribble, yeah, could be. Until this day, there's a guy. Yeah, I mean, there are people I know in my own life that people think that they looked at me the wrong way. They looked at me the wrong way. And they're going to be for 40 years. They don't give the benefit of the doubt, and it's so vital that we really, we fall up the whole time on this about not giving the benefit of the doubt to other people, to give them the chance. Now, I'm very lucky in this. There'll be many times where, I'm going to tell this story in Elstree, so you're going to hear it again. So just pretend you didn't hear it before. When I was like 2 years old, my mum had me in Tesco's in Burham Wood, right? And I was a 2-year-old in the buggy, in the trolley, and my mum was trolling me through Tesco's, and she didn't know this, but I was putting food in the trolley as she was going. I was actually putting it in the trolley. Okay, and lo and behold, the rabbi of the shul, Rabbi Alan Planty, was in Tesco's that day. What coincidence. And he happened to say hello to my mum and peek into the shopping trolley. And what I had noticed was I put some pork sausages into the trolley. And my mum still claims...
We've all been there.
We've all been Okay, but now again, so what would happen is you'd see Rabbi Dov, he had pork sausages, he eats pork, you know that? The cat, they eat pork. No, yeah, I saw it. Okay, no one thinks to give the benefit of the doubt. Or maybe there's something happened. Maybe there's something else behind the scene. There's a story. I don't know. I'm sure if we went around the table, everyone here would have a story of something you did in your life where it could have been construed completely differently, but you had to explain yourself. And how do you explain yourself? they'd have understood that you had no intention whatsoever of either hurting somebody or causing damage. How many times has it happened that like that person saw me and they walked straight past me? Ever had that before?
Yeah.
They totally saw me. For sure they saw me. They ignored me completely. They went completely past me. Or that person like normally is like, that person that walked past me in the toilet, I said hi and they were like hi and walked past, but whatever, like how rude is that? Like, how rude is that? Like, they haven't basic decency to like be nice. Yeah, happened to anyone before? Like, do we go into that point where we think, well, maybe something's happened to them and they're like really in like a bit of a state and they're not thinking straight right now? And they're like, maybe their like mind is being ripped to shreds by some news and they're not with it. Probably, maybe that person who was on the other side of the road who definitely saw me, maybe they didn't see me, or maybe again, they just heard some news that was really troubling and they couldn't. Okay, so giving the benefit of that it's vital. It's so incredibly vital for us. It's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah for us to try to give the benefit of the doubt whenever we can. Now, this we see here. How does this relate to Rosh Hashanah? How do they bring it back to Rosh Hashanah? Okay, so look in source D. The Gemara in Shabbos tells something very beautiful. Have you guys heard of this idea? Midah keneged midah. Midah keneged midah means how you act is almost how things get mirrored to you. I believe that there was a book. A guy called Johnny Seifert told me this. I think someone, Johnny. He told me this, right, David? You know Johnny Seifert. Yeah. There's a book called The Secret. Everyone heard this book? One of these best-selling self-help, The Secret. I've never read it.
It's rubbish.
It's
rubbish.
It's
It's
like
rubbish.
put £1 million on your like cupboard and wait for it to go on. It's like law of attraction.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the way he was describing it to me was that it's almost this same idea, like the way that you see in the world is how it sees back to you. Like the way you look at people is how they look at you. Right? Is that what the law of attraction means?
Positive things positive?
Yeah.
Okay, so some people call it karma, I guess. That's what some people call it. Karma police.
Yeah.
Instant karma.
Karma chameleon.
Karma police. The other songs of karma. Have a little think about that, Steve. We'll learn tomorrow. You can look about that later. Okay, so
Calm down.
Calm down. Yeah. Okay. So the idea of midah keneged midah on Rosh Hashanah, right? We might not have much. We might not have much in our tank, so to speak, in the fuel tank. But one thing you might have and might be able to turn to is this idea that I am standing here and being judged. But you know what, Master of the world? I try in my life to be non-judgmental. I try my hardest not to be judgmental of other people. And there have been times in the past year where I could have been judgmental, or I could have jumped on something. I could have got angry, and I could have, made a whole fuss and a whole problem and a barogus and a whole haktatsuris about a certain thing, and I didn't, and I gave the benefit of the doubt. So to Hashem, please look deeper into me and know that, as you said before, my real ratzon, my real desire is to do your will. My real desire is to serve you. But I've got a Yetzer Hara, I was born into this world which is so hard. Help me in the next year, but ultimately look how I'm not judgmental. I'm not judgmental, then help me. So look at this, source D. Tana Rabbanan, Hadan chaver lechavskus, dani noisoy leskus, which translates in English as, I'm going to ask Richard Black to read source D for me. Go.
The sages taught, one who judges another favourably is himself judged favourably.
That's so dramatically written. Okay, the one who judges another favourably is himself judged favourably. You can look for positive judgment, right? And again, there's so many factors, and that's why, by the way, it's really, really powerful.
I
Take a
could
look.
do unto others as you wish to.
We're going to come to that in a second, Steve. Look at source C. Okay, look at source C. I'm going to show you now. We're going to do it for Hebrew. So dive in. If you don't read Hebrew, just bear with me. But I'm going to show you a really interesting point in Hebrew. Look at source C at the beginning, right? Forget the first bit. That's the name of the person, Yeshua ben Parach Yomer. Forget the next bit. Aseh lecha rav means make yourself a rabbi. Or kneh lecha chaver, and acquire for yourself a friend. Now come here at this point. Can you see almost halfway through the sentence? It says vehevei. You with me? Vehevei. Okay, if you can't read Hebrew, don't worry too much. Just listen. Vehevei done. And so, judge, es kol ha'adam lechavskus. Judge kol, I'm going to put brackets what the word kol means, ha'adam lechavskus. Now, if I take away the kol, that word out, this is what it means. I'll take the word kol out. It means like this. Judge a person to the side of good. Judge a person to the side of good. I.e., judgment, give the benefit of the doubt. but yet we threw in the word kol. Kol means what? What does the word kol mean?
People.
All.
Kol Yisrael.
Kol ha'olam kulo v'shetzam. Kol. Now, what does that word kol do to the sentence? We don't need it. Don't need to be there because we already know, right? Judge a person to the side of good. So I don't have to put the word all. What does the word all mean?
It's universal.
Well, to judge us all as
I would say that it's universal anyway. Like judge a person to the side. Well, that means everyone. I don't know. 1 second. Just stay focused. Kol means all my. It means all my vowels. I think.
That's cold as in voice.
No. It's all my vowels. Kol nidre, all my vowels. Okay, we're coming back to the room. What does the word kol add? Deborah Tomei, go for it.
I don't know, it's like all people.
I was saying, but we know that anyway. If you say judge people to the side of good,
The whole of them? Like
go, come on, you got it. Say it.
all their sides, all their
Beautiful. Deborah Tomei and Elsie live. So this is it exactly. Kol ha'adam means everything about them, i.e., what you see in front of you right now is just a tiny part of the story. Everybody's got a past, everybody's got a present, and everybody's got a future. What I see right now is like a 30-second view of you and how you are right now. No, look at Kol Ha'adam. Now, I'm telling you now, I know I'm sitting here rambling on to you. These are life-changing lessons that will, I'm not joking here, change your life. Because when you start living this way, and you start seeing how people annoy you, people frustrate you, and you come to yourself and say, you know what, maybe who knows what kind of upbringing they had, or who knows what kind of situation is going on with them, or who knows what they're going through right now, or knows what kind of childhood they had. It just changes your perspective, and instead of getting upset and annoyed and angry and judgmental, you come to a place of A, compassion when necessary, or B, you come to a place of concern if needs be, and thirdly, you just don't get yourself worked up and angry. Right? This is a really, really important thing to know. Like, how many times have you been on the train and there's a guy that gets on, or, a couple get on with screaming kids, and that's normally me with my family. It's like whenever we fly to Australia, it's always the same thing. Like, I get on the plane, we haven't done for a couple of years now, but it's that long flight, it's the long one, from like London to Hong Kong, whatever. And you get on and they already see you from a mile off, they hear you more, they hear the kids. Right? And then you always get the same thing, which is always they always do that please. And you always hear the walk past going, as you walk past them. And then finally you get there's that one guy who's going, and you're like, oh, sorry, I'm sitting there. And he's just like, yeah, sure, go for it. And they're like, oh. And they were so polite and nice. So my kids smearing vanilla cake into their hair. I'm so sorry about it. No, that's all right. It's fine. Anyway, Baruch Hashem. Okay, but the idea is, and I'm not going to ask necessarily everyone to go around the room, and I'm sure everyone's got stories, but cases where if you only knew the full story that's going on with this person, you just wouldn't get angry, you wouldn't get upset, you wouldn't get so peeved. But you're not prepared to, because it's what's happening right now. It's what's going on for me for this second. They tell the story about, a guy, I read the story once about a guy who got on the train and his kids were running wild and going crazy. There's I think a rabbi who was telling the story that he was on this train and all the kids were going nuts and going mad and jumping around. And his father was just in his own dreamland. And it's rabbi went up to this, can you not control your kids? And he's like, yeah, I'm really sorry, we just come from the hospital. My wife's really ill in hospital. We just come back from hospital. And now imagine how bad that guy felt now when he's keep your kids under control. Again, but so many times that's the case. When we get angry and annoyed at people making noise or yeah, Auntie Deborah.
One question. And so do you think it's quite a Jewish thing to be quite critical? Because it strikes me that without thinking about it, it feels like
well,
we're almost taught to be critical or complain, and so maybe that's a specific.
It's interesting. I mean, it's one of those kind of Jewish things that almost the world is through culture has kind of accentuated as being very Jewish. Some things are Jewish, the fact the Jews are always in that's the thing that. And I'll give you some I know this because a couple of years ago I was on Purim and I was trying to get costume. So I went with Benji to Angels we went to one in town. Sharp Young, we went there, where it was. Yeah. So I was looking at all the costumes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and things, and I said I don't know how I got to it, but they had the pages of religious, there's the Pope and there's the church, and they had a rabbi. Okay, so you know what the rabbi costume is? It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a bit of a beard, kind of a hat, has a scarf tullet on this guy, right? But the guy, in order to let you know he's a rabbi, he's going like this. He's like that. The scarf and the thing. Now it's accentuated by culture that we're just like very like. But I listen. I like to think actually that we're not so critical because really we're told not to be critical. We've become this isn't going to turn into a whole story about history or ethnicity of the Jewish people, we get culture, but we've had to survive. In order to survive, we've had to be very clever. We've had to be able to see situations and read situations fast, and that could be like a reason why we could be. I think we're very good at analysing, but maybe we have become a bit too easy at criticising, and it's not a good thing. Something to think about. I haven't really ever thought about that question. It's a good question, but I'd like to think that together in the room, at least us here tonight, we'll walk out here trying to be less critical, because that's what we're trying to say. You've got to look at the next one. Look at source E. This is a big one. This is huge, right? Especially with those who know that in things like medical research, they find that people who bear grudges and people who hold things in and bear grudges, it has even a physical effect on you. It can actually physically affect you. Look at source E. If it's okay with everyone, I'd like to ask who hasn't read before. Sienna, you've never read in my class before, so read source E. Can you source in English? In English?
Okay. Whoever forgoes their reckonings of grudges with others for injustices done to them, the heavenly court in turn forgoes punishment for all their sins, as it is stated. He bears sin and forgives transgression. 7:18.
That's it, yeah.
Whose sins does he bear? The sins of one who forgoes their reckoning with others for injustices committed against them.
Okay, so if you forgive, in Hebrew it sounds much better. Hamavir amidoisa, which means someone who literally could have a begrub, as you would say. Steve's got some good words. Begrub is like, you could have like a grudge against someone, and you could be angry with someone. Maybe you've got a right. Maybe there is something they did which was wrong, right? But you forgive it, and you say, you know what? I'm not going to let it eat me up. I'm going to forgive them, and it's okay. I'm cool with it, right? If you do that, right? He says that Hashem forgives you for the injustices you've done. It's like midah keneged midah, right? It's quid pro quo. However you act is acted to you. If you can give up and you cannot bear grudges, and again, let's be very clear. If there are very seriously terrible things that happen to a person, obviously we're not talking about that.